Learning how to be movie stars.
All right, that's a coffee. It's a coffee talk. 1,
3, 2, 1.
Remember 3, 2, 1. Contact.
Contact. It's a coffee,
Coffee talk.
Are we gonna do a jingle?
No. No jingle.
Jingling Jason?
Jangling Jason is jingling along. It's a coffee talk.
It is a coffee talk.
Uh-huh. Still got a Lakers hat.
Let's talk
My
about...
favorite hat now.
It is your favorite hat now. I see you in it a lot.
I know. I wear it all the time when I fly out here.
Let's get into something that we actually went over in a meeting a few weeks ago, and you were in. We were talking about, how there's so much to be done this week. It can definitely cannibalize all of our time.
But there's so much to be done today.
So much today, let alone this week.
Does the plate overfloweth?
It overfloweth. But it's very important to invest in tomorrow or beyond, for that matter.
But also live in the present.
But live in the present. That is interesting. That's a hard thing to do.
It's balance. It comes back to balance.
Right.
All of these things are intertwined. It's all connected.
Right. Truth. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think it's so easy as an agent to get sucked into the daily grind. Like there's so much to do and so much that we can do. There's fires everywhere.
Yeah.
So much to do today.
Yeah. And if the ship isn't tight, then take a smaller shop, right? If you have a smaller shop,
okay,
it's maybe you, one employee, or even you by yourself. Okay. The less there is to support the system that's in, or lack of system, the more chaos there is, right? We have a million things constantly going. Imagine I like taking payments, setting up claims. I mean, there's a billion things
getting yelled at,
and then trying to stay positive by the clients and the wife, right? Like all of it. I mean, you could really waste the whole day just by going in there and not having anything planned.
True. And that's what happens without a plan. Definitely without a plan, Stan, you will not get much done, accomplished, other than the immediate task for the day.
However, you also have to be ready to deviate from the plan if something of greater priority hits.
Yeah, but usually those daily things that we feel are so important can be kind of reorganized to accommodate both objectives. Like you definitely have to every day be putting a little bit. It's like investing, right?
Yeah.
If we use all the money that we make every single day down to zero, we're never going to have anything at retirement.
Right.
You constantly need to put a percentage of, just like you do put a percentage of your check away.
The Papa Sheba.
Right. But you want to put a percentage of your day, it doesn't have to be a major, but you have to be consistent putting that percentage a day of creating the stuff that you need for the future.
Right.
Otherwise, if you do want to grow or you want to, achieve more.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen just with you handling stuff every day.
Yeah. A lot of us are entrepreneurs and we'll fly kind of by the seat of our pants sometimes.
Sure.
So it's easy to let all of that sort of get out of control. And it's a really good practice to even if it's just a list, make a list. I mean, people don't write as much anymore, but maybe use the reminders or notes. If you have the right kind of phone, then you'd have notes and reminders and those sort of things. Right. That can interact with your computer and all that and keep you organized.
True. But you can be held hostage by those lists at times too, because you feel like I have to finish this list to move on. Yeah. In reality, with those big over goals, you might want to reorganize.
Sure. It's more of a guide.
It's a guide.
Yeah.
Puts your thoughts in your pocket.
Well, I
just spit on you.
That's all right. You probably caught it. I didn't see it. But the camera's better than these old eyes. So I think that it's also good to celebrate those things when you do it. Remember the other day, or was a few weeks ago when I was here, we got a lot done. we made some great movies here, as Julie would call them.
Yeah.
No, but we did some great videos we had the daily, knocked out daily drills. We did a Teledudes one.
Oh, that's true.
We did all of those things, and it's like, and the ironic thing was we hadn't even planned that out. We just sort of
just
went.
We were in that mode of just go.
And we're like, oh, what other ones do we need to make? What other ones? And we knocked them all out, and it was like, wow, we actually accomplished a lot.
Totally.
Because all that other stuff could come up.
Right. It's so true.
And derail, right? But we didn't. We locked the door and said, we're not talking to anybody.
Right.
And that kind of helped. And then we both agreed not to look at our email or any of the other communication devices.
Right.
And then we knocked it out. So I think that's a good practice to, like, if somebody said, well, how can I do that? It's too chaotic here. You create the environment. You know, you don't have to answer every phone call every second. I mean, if everybody's on the phone, what happens? It goes to voicemail.
Right.
So,
but it's also in with those kind of circumstances, especially if you have a team, it's the communication's key at those points. So like if everybody needs those times to catch up and really nail down some stuff, right? It's really important that they communicate. Hey guys, can you cover me for the next 15 minutes? I'm going to handle this, that, or the other thing.
Yeah.
And then that will help create those times. But back to the original thing, man, we got to make sure that we have a percentage of that day that we're doing those things to grow the future.
Sure. Yeah.
And if we don't, we know what we're going to get.
Yeah. Like look at tracking activity for the telemarketers or the salespeople or whatever, right? You know that they need to do X number of quotes for you to get this much in sales. Well, the same thing holds true for any overarching big goals you have. Maybe you want to open another agency. Well, what does it take to do that? Do you need $100,000 in the bank? Do you need $200,000? What are the steps to get there? And then chew that apart and then work it backwards. And then you don't need to do it all today. You just over the next 6 months or year or whatever, set a time. I love what one of my kids taught me from their school, SMART goal. Set a SMART goal, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic. I don't know what that is, and time bound. That's enough to be good. And
SMAT.
It's a SMAT goal.
SMAT goal.
No, but putting that down, and it's really about being clear and specific. We've talked about that too, right? So if you're clear with yourself and you set aside that time, and then just like going to the gym, you hold yourself accountable to doing it. You know, close the door. Say, I'm going to be tied up for a half hour. I'm going to do it, and in a few weeks, it'll become habit, and that time will be really important.
Yep.
And maybe if you don't have anything to do that day, then meditate or read a book or do something in that half hour. But you got to give yourself that time.
Paint a picture with Bob Ross.
Yeah. Why not? You can look him up on the YouTube.
My son calls him Baba Ross.
Baba Ross.
Bowie. Yeah. He it's funny. You put it on. You put Bob Ross on, and this kid has more energy than anything. He goes catatonic.
Really?
Dude, he's like mesmerized.
It is mesmerizing.
He is mesmerizing,
because there's nothing there. And then it all of a sudden becomes this forest.
Baba Ross, he smears some stuff and it's like,
it's
oh my
amazing.
God.
He makes it look so easy. But that's hours and hours and hours of practice.
Yep,
right?
That is.
He wasn't born painting those majestic landscapes.
Baba Ross, that is true.
Yeah. So let's drop it like it's hot and move on. See you guys. That's a coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
Coffee talk. Coffee talk.